Comrades, we have an important task ahead. And our task ahead, what excites me about this people Batengo, is that we have taken a stand of liberating ourselves. We are liberating ourselves from a point where we are told who must lead at the expense of those ones that can really lead this organization. Comrades, what even excites me more is the generational mission that we have always spoken about. And it is time that that generational mission comes alive. Yes. There is so many things that we have spoken about in terms of this generational mission, of ensuring that when you look at what the January 8th statement and its theme is about, is when you go back to our generational mission and the decisions that we have taken there. We have said we want to put the interests of the people in the forefront. And no one is going to do that if it is not taken by us here. It is us that needs to save the ANC from what it is. And it is us that is going to save the ANC. We are not going to allow the ANC to go down with those ones that don't have interest of seeing the ANC still being alive. The ANC is our inheritance, comrades. There is nothing that we know beyond the ANC. And while we're sitting and share what is happening, we can see that people don't have the interest of the ANC. And it will be gone, comrades. Yes. Comrades, young people are out there, not only young people, even those ones that came before us. There are people today that are saying we do not see the change that the ANC has done into our lives. But it is us that needs to show them that there are changes that the ANC has done. It's just that certain individuals. And we have had an opportunity of rescuing ourselves, comrades. We are glad that we took the decision that we took, Honorable Nasrek. It was simply to save us as Fezile Dabi. Saving Fezile Dabi beyond everything that is happening, comrades. And that's why when Comrade Edgar is saying, comrades, let us not sell out on this mission. It's because we understand the importance of this mission and changing the lives of each one of us that is sitting here today. While we are changing our lives sitting here today, we must also remember there are people that we need to change their lives. And those people have lost hope in the African National Congress. Comrades, we are looking at what was raised at the January 8th statement. When the president was speaking, he was speaking in terms of governance, when he was speaking about government and the role that government needs to play. And I was sitting there and saying that, but with the current crop of leadership that we have, government is not going to play that role. Because we are comfortable in our seats where we are. It is us that needs to make sure that when we change the lives of our people, we have people that understand the movement. It is important that we renew the type of membership that we currently have, comrades. The crop of membership that we currently have is a crop of membership that does not understand the principles of the ANC, but understands a person. And we need to take that away from the membership of the ANC and build and say that you are the first line defense of the ANC, irrespective of the things that are happening, but it is us that needs to defend this movement. And with that said, comrades, it is important that as we go as Fezile Dabi and we take a decision at the provincial conference, we are not looking at a person, but we are looking at the capacity and the change that that person will bring into Free State. We need to bring change in Free State. There is generally a perception that in Free State, we do not have leadership. We've got leadership in Free State, comrades. It is us that are going to change the perception. It is us that are going to change the perception around what people think about the Free State. And when we come from the provincial conference, comrades, it is us that also needs to change the perception around Free State, around Fezile Dabi. Comrades, there's a perception in Free State around Fezile Dabi. And Fezile Dabi, as the state in which it is now, it is not the same. And it will never be the same, comrades. Comrades, we are sitting here because most of us, we took a decision and a brave decision, comrades. And I want to say thank you to the comrades of Makube that are brave enough to be seated here with us. we need to support each other. Yes. Because Comrade Castro, as we are seated here, it is not easy, in particular, especially in our governments, the municipalities that we are leading. Because we are bringing change in those municipalities and change is not accepted. And when this change is not accepted, you will see protests every day. They are protesting every day because here people are starting to change how things used to work. They call it that, but we are not doing that, from the doctor. What we are doing, we are simply saying that it's about time that we work for our people. Comrades, they call me the Iron Lady. I am not just an Iron Lady. I believe that if you believe in a cause, I must support you full time. Because you believe in that cause. And that's why the first line of defense is each delegate is sitting here, because you are taking risk with your lives. And Comrade Toy, it is important that we, if you have listened to the President when he was speaking, he said what we are doing in government as we are losing power is that we bring in all the red tapes in front instead of assisting our communities. It is this leadership of Fezile Dabi that will show that while all those red tapes are there, we are going to implement and change the lives of the people, and we will fix later on. Yes. What needs to be fixed will fix later on. But our people, as they are unemployed, it is us that must create opportunities for Congress to work. I start with Congress because it's Congress that are in the first line of defense of everything, while we are bringing in the community at the same time. It cannot be us that are sitting here with Congress and we know their livelihood in terms of how they are, and that it is us that will forget that they were the ones that are putting us in positions. It is wrong, Congress, that once we're in positions, we forget the ones that took us to this position. What we know is that today we are told that you are doing all sorts of wrong things, but they have forgotten when they were in power, they have slaughtered all of us. They slaughtered us and they thought that we will be buried. And today, comrades, this mission starts not only from 2012. Look at where we are, comrades. They said, Comrade Douglas, when he was speaking, he said, Comrade Mbalula waited since 1912, even though he knows that, but it was a transition of 10 years, comrades. And it is the same thing that when we had never had an SG at that time, that this person must take over as a provincial secretary. Comrades, it's not just a thing or a fluke that we have thought about. It is when you are called, when you call this thing patience, that you can bury us today. But we are patient enough to stay in this movement and work our way on without resources, but we are where we are today, without those resources, because now one comrade was saying that, do we choose Vanabale or do we choose the truth? And they said we're choosing the truth. It's about time that we change Fezile Dabi, we change the Free State Province. With that said, we would like to see each one of you in the process of renewal. And the organization, we are going to take back Metsimaholo, comrades. It's not nice what we are seeing at Metsimaholo. The state of governance in Metsimaholo is not correct, comrades. It's a sad state. And unfortunately, our communities are still saying the ANC, even though the ANC is not in power. So rather, let's go and fetch that power and change the state of Metsimaholo in terms of how it is. Comrades, it is us that needs to go after this conference and make sure that Congress of Mukaka understand what the ANC is, comrades. It is us that needs to fix municipalities. It is us that needs to go to Ngwathe and say that you are not going to group yourself. You are here because of the ANC. I came because of this process. This process was a process of the ANC, and therefore you are bound to what the ANC says. When we come back from the provincial conference, comrades, when we come back from the regional conference, comrades, it's important that our first task is to fix the election machinery. We are not going to be a region that is sleeping because now we have won and we have forgotten that there are things that we need to do. If we want to see the Free State not in coalition, comrades, then we need to go and work as hard. Comrades, what Metsimaholo, when we go to the local, the national and provincial elections, comrades, you are the highest in terms of the percentage that votes for the African National Congress. But we need to go back and make sure that you also become the highest when it comes to the local government elections. So those are the steps that we need to work on, comrades, and we will later on, comrades, everyone that is not with us today, we will go back to them, comrades, and say, comrades, we want to work. And we want to include all of you into this organization. But comrades, what we are not going to allow is people with the type of membership that we have currently. I'm in support of the ANC SG that says, if you are a problem and you don't want to abide and you don't define yourself as an ANC member, then you might as well leave our organization. I am in support of that statement, comrades, and not only because we are trying to push comrades, but we want to rescue the ANC from what we have currently. The ANC currently, in terms of its membership, we really need to renew it, and our first line would be the January 8th statement and the resolutions that we have taken at NASREC, and that is what we will put together as this REC when we come in, and we will work on that. With those words, comrades, I want to say, Itelele Tselaye.